back and forth drama with a woman. That's it. Whatever you say, let that word be gospel.
Well, man, but here's the thing though. Should we be pedestalizing a woman like you who's telling us the truth?
No,
No.
No.
no, I'm
What
telling
the
you,
hell is he talking
no.
about? She just said don't pedestalize no
She
woman.
Hello, all, and welcome back to my channel, Red Femme Diaries. All right, so I'm going to be straight up with you guys. As you know, I'm very clear and open about the fact that my YouTube channel is a back alley channel. So, no, my content is not up to date. I don't necessarily cover the up to date, things going on, but when I do jump on here and, make a post, it's usually relevant and it's something meaty that you guys could really chew on. But because of my issue with laziness and procrastination, I have several videos like in line that I want to do, but it takes a lot of work. And to be honest with you, at my job, I've picked up extra hours, so I'm working over 40 hours a week. So I unfortunately have not had the time to upload the way I would like to. So my lazy behind finds it easier sometimes to jump on a live stream and speak there, and I upload it here, and so I've got some content in a few minutes. So I'm actually working on some content right now, my own content. So in the meantime, in between time, I jumped on Obsidian's channel, and in case you guys don't know who Obsidian is, well, heck, I don't half know who he is either, but I am subscribed to his channel. I do believe he is a a follower of Kevin Samuels. And as you guys know, I like Kevin Samuels too. So I jumped on his channel and on a panel, and I got to speak. So I tend to do this a lot. It helps me to get new subscribers and to get my message out because my channel is so small. So I'm going to post that here. But before it's posted, I just kind of want to point out some things, for you guys to kind of, pick up on. So during my short period of time on this live stream, there is a man that you'll see, and I'm going to, play the clip after this, of course. And you'll notice towards the end, he's in the upper right hand corner, and he questions me a lot because he's very confused about hearing a woman speak the way I do. So I kind of want to explain where I'm coming from before I play that clip and why I speak so candidly and freely about the nature of women. And I've been on a few different, podcasts. Now I've linked a couple of them here, but I really want you guys to understand, because this particular guy in the upper right hand corner, he was really trying to challenge me, because the things I say are uncomfortable because I'm a female, and you typically do not hear a female talk the way I do about the nature of women. So some may be wondering, why do I have the beliefs that I have? So on the different podcasts I've been on and live streams and shows I've been on, I say this and I keep saying this. I grew up with women. I am a woman. I work with women. The job that I have, all my patients are all women. So I have a very close understanding, an in-depth understanding of a nature of a woman. And I understand there absolutely is a code that women have where you don't speak about our negative traits, but I'm not really welcome in the female world, so it doesn't mean anything for me to tell the truth. I excuse me, sorry. Scripture is very clear. You shall know the truth, and this truth will set you free. And I'm a big proponent of that. It'll set you free, but a lot of people aren't going to like you. And I just don't care at this point. I have cancer. My days are numbered here. So I am completely comfortable with speaking the truth. And at the end of the day, my main thing is that I want you all, my subscribers, and also my sons, and anyone that hears my voice, just to know the truth. The truth is actually quite simple. It's quite basic, but it's uncomfortable because of the propaganda that the majority of us have been under for so long. All of us have been sold a fantasy. A woman has been sold a fantasy of a white knight coming in and rescuing you like you're, Cinderella or Snow White or something. And we want this tall, dark, and handsome prince to come in and just take care of us. I get it, and that sounds awesome, but that's not the way life works. And for men, you guys want to see your beautiful, virginal princess, and you want to take her and she's just going to be your wife and everything's going to be amazing. I get all of that, but that's not how love and marriage works. I mean, did we not see Married with Children? It's not like that. And I'm saying this as a woman that's been married for a period of time and has sons, that the reality of real true love and real marriage is not a fantasy. It's not. And so I speak bluntly, as you'll see in this clip here, because I care about people before I leave this earth. I've experienced some life, and what I understand is that there's happiness and there's joy. Happiness is circumstantial. There are some people that will meet their spouse and they will look at each other and look at each other's eyes, and they will fall deeply and madly in love. They'll be married for 50 years. They'll die together holding hands in an embrace, and they're going to go off to heaven together. And that is awesome. That is a minority. The majority of us, that's not how this is going to go down. And so I want to explain, to people how the reality of life is. Love is not romance. Those are two separate things. Sometimes they coincide and they go together. Awesome. But for the majority of us, that's not it. Love is self-sacrificing. Okay? When you have a spouse and children and a household and all these things and a legacy to look after, you have to deny yourself. That's just the reality of it. And a woman has a harder time doing that than a man. And that's just the gospel truth. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to play the video. Please focus on the guy. You'll see, it's hard to tell because no one's on camera, but you'll see the movements as they're talking. He really tries hard to dig into me a little bit, and it challenged me, and it, throw me off, my rocker, but he can't, because I'm actually speaking authentically and truthfully. So hopefully you can hear this. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. This is Red Femme Diaries. Goodbye.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Go right ahead.
Oh, good. Well, I'm just dropping in. I kind of heard you gentlemen speaking, and I'm a woman, so I thought that maybe my perspective might be heard here. Who knows?
Yeah, go right ahead. You have the floor.
Okay. Oh, geez. Well, it sounds kind of. I just got in the tail end of your conversation. It kind of sounds like you guys are talking about turning the hoe into the housewife, right?
Yes, we're talking about Miss Brittany Renner. You familiar with Miss Brittany Renner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about that tonight. She's well in the news and in the social media news cycle, and we're talking about the recent interview she did with DJ Academics and St. Kevin Samuel. So go right ahead.
Yes, sir. The last gentleman, it seemed, I guess the part that I kind of caught my ear was I heard the concept of turning, the hoe into the housewife. Yes? Or
That's
no?
right. That's right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to put a little different perspective. I say, I believe you can.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I want to explain though.
Yeah, we want to hear this. Go ahead.
I know it's going to sound crazy. I believe you can, but my question would be to men, why would you want to do that?
I like that.
Why would you want to do that? That would be more my question.
I like
And
that.
the reason why I say you can turn a hoe into a housewife is because I think you guys are seeing women that you quote unquote say are not hoes as somehow different from the hoe. And so as a woman, and I've dealt with women my whole life, I'm going to say that they are all the same.
What?
Whether she is, I know.
Well,
I
hold on a
know.
minute. Hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
Bingo.
If you say they're all the same, why is it when Obsidian had his show, all these women are saying that I can't speak for all women, I can only give my opinion? Because whenever Obsidian put a woman in in a question where
True.
they cannot answer, they immediately segregate themselves from all women and say, I can only give you my opinion. It doesn't apply to all women. And men have to always give the exclusion, not all, not all, not all. You're right here saying
Manipulation.
all. So you need to clarify that.
Clarify it.
Well, that's probably a little different than what I was speaking about, but I can definitely talk about that
Well, we were
too.
talking about women being whores.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
it's as far as that is about women saying, well, I can't speak for all women. Just kind of like what I just said, like whether it's the hoe you're turning into the housewife or the woman that you think that's not a hoe into housewife, it's the same woman. So a woman that says, oh, I can't speak for all women, it's the same woman. And what I like to talk about is the nature of a woman. It's the same woman. A woman's nature is to lie and deceive. So when a woman says something like, well, I can't speak for all women, that's just her way of deceiving and being delusional and taking away any personal responsibility. They are all, excuse me, not say they, we are all the same.
Thank you.
And so
Thank
I
you.
I
guess
just
my
wanted
thing,
you, I
yes, sir.
just wanted you to elucidate on that. Thank you.
Can I
And,
get in
and
there real quick?
go ahead.
In my opinion, I don't think any woman actually wants to be a hoe. I think it all boils down to finances. You know, if a woman has limited resources or limited options, well, the only thing she has is a body to sell, especially if she has children. At the end of the day, a woman is a mother, or she has the potential to be a mother. And a lot of times women sell themselves to to take care of their children, and in other cases to take care of themselves. But I think under favorable circumstances, I don't think any woman actually wants to be a whore. Now, I was watching the clips of Obsidian's video. Brittany Renner, I think she started out as I think she was trying to do fitness or something on the internet.
That's
And
right.
she wasn't getting any views. But the second that she turned into an Instagram model, she started getting all of these followers and started making money. And she said that she basically became a celebrity.
That's right.
So I think that Brittany Renner made it clear that what she was doing was business. And I don't see any. I don't see it was there was no situation that anybody could prove that she was actually engaged in any type of sexual activities in exchange for money. But everything that she did, from starting out her business on the internet and then moving it into the Instagram model and making money, it was all a business to her. And that's what it always boils down. Everybody's trying to get at a buck. And at the very bottom of the socioeconomic scale, if a woman has limited options, the only options that are left to her is selling her body. Again, if a gentleman or a fellow knowingly enters into that relationship, knowing that woman, prostituted herself, that's on him. I don't think he has a right to have buyer's regret after he knowingly enters into a situation like that. And finally, to punctuate what the sister said, why would any man in their right mind want to make a whore into a housewife?
But so
Well,
you're in disagreement because she said all women are the same though.
I was going to say that is why I have to disagree with that. I think they do enjoy being a whore, but they still want that security of being a wife. It goes back to why I brought up Tiana Trump. And again, if you watch her interview on No Jumper, she brought that up. She literally was saying in high school she had this amount of bodies. And she was saying that men are mad at her because she's being honest, but she basically said there are women who did the exact same thing that she did, but they were not open in public about it. So they enjoy doing it, but they just still want the security of being a wife, and they won't tell their future husband about it. And this goes back to why I say I respect them for taking their stance and letting it be known of, hey, this is what I do. You can choose to take me as this, or you can choose to not, or you choose not to. So again, you have to respect that. Unlike the modern women, just like how we have a woman on a panel who literally just said they're all the same, who were doing the exact same things, who would never tell their husbands about them doing the exact same things that they did.
So let me
What do
ask
you
the
think
woman.
about that, Red? What do you think
Yeah.
about that, Red?
There's so much that was said here, so it's hard to pick which thing.
Do
But
women want to be whores?
yes, they do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's just I'm a little bit older, so I come, from a different time. Even though that was not my route, no, I didn't, strip or anything like that. But like going back to that nature of a woman, all the same, all desire to be whores. Do
So,
some do it
you saying that you desired to be a whore?
at one point? Absolutely, yes. Doesn't mean I absolutely did it, but
Right.
most of us have that in our head. You know what I'm
So
saying?
why?
Doesn't
So,
mean
so tell us why do most women want to be whores?
okay. Well, I see it like this. What's that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought I heard something. Well, basically, it's like this. What's the role of a woman, right? If you get to the bare bones of it, we're beautiful. We provide you guys pleasure. We're something for you to look at. So that's our strength, right? And so with men, a lot of times your strength is your ability to produce and provide and all these things. So you guys work on that. Because our beauty, our sex, and all these things are our currency, we want to put that to the forefront.
Exactly.
That's just
And
how we are. And so we want to be the most beautiful flower in the field. We want to be the most desired. But because of our ignorance, we don't want to just be desired by our husband. We want every man to desire us.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you next, and you just hit on it.
So
It
what do
doesn't
you
just
what
mean by
advice?
one man.
What advice would you give us for men who want to have wives?
I give it, the thing about it is I give advice all the time, but for whatever reason, I'm just not a person that people listen to. I speak very clear, as you can see.
Right.
But when I tell men, for whatever reason, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Because they can't, I mean,
Well,
as we see, and as Obsidian has hit on today, a lot of men can't handle this truth about women's nature.
No, they can't.
They can't. They cannot.
Yeah, when I speak about women and how we are, and I'm speaking dead honest, because I work with women for a living, I grew up with women. I am a woman. I know women like the back of my hand, and I speak upfront and clearly about how we are. And I think for a lot of men, it's too painful to hear.
Exactly.
Because I think a lot of men, a lot of you guys, kind of put us on a pedestal because we're pretty.
Romanticized.
We're romanticized, and I
It's
think.
funny because
I'm sorry.
what I was going to say. It's funny because I think someone just asked before you started speaking, one of the other gentlemen, why would a man want to make a hoe into a wife? That's the reason. Her beauty, her sex, her appeal, what attracts you to her, and that's in her past. There's some men that can look past her past. Not all men can do it, but some men can. And I think,
clarify something real quick.
let me just finish my thought. I think what women are starting to show us with their liberties today is that women are like cats. We said men are dogs. Women are like cats. And if you've ever had a cat, watch her when she's in heat. It will teach you everything about a woman.
You do know that Tennessee Williams had the cat on the hot tin roof, and when they did the movie adaptation, Liz Taylor was in the starring role. So there's
your memory is exceptional, Obsidian.
Yeah, thank you. Let me bring in my man Freeman. Freeman, you're on the air, Obsidian Radio. I know you got something to say about all. Go right ahead.
Yeah, man. They asked about the advice for men that want to have wives. Look, don't mess with women that you wouldn't wife.
Yeah, but they're all whores.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't relate to a lot of horror stories because I've followed that pretty much my whole life. And not that I was some super sage. I just had standards. So I avoided a lot of negative consequences of women. I told a lot of women no. And when I was looking for my wife, I wasn't having sex. I just wasn't. It took about a solid year, but I found my wife. And you can be like, you can say it's not realistic, but what you would do is you would just weed them out.
That these guys will sacrifice going a year to find a good, pure, probably purebred type.
How many dudes are going a year trying to get it every day? You know, I mean, shit. When you're
Well, I
batting
think it's
zero
not.
zero
It's
point
not.
one, how hard is it to just raise your standards? Ain't that hard?
All right,
Yeah.
so Miss Red, what do you say about that?
Um, about how to. I'm sorry.
What these brothers need to do is raise their standards, and if they're willing to sacrifice for about a year, don't get none, and they raise their standards, they will find a poly purebred black woman who isn't a whore.
No, I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this. And okay, so this is the part where like men do not like to hear what I have to say. No, it doesn't
Say it.
work that it doesn't work that way with us. I mean, that's great if that happened for him. That's awesome. You know what I mean? And if you want to take a year and do all these things, that's great. You know, I hope it works out. But no, that's not how we work.
My thing.
And so
Okay.
what I would suggest to men,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you all have heard this before, but I think maybe it might hit a little bit different coming from a woman's mouth.
Mhm.
Do not ever make us a priority
Boom.
at all. We should never be number one in your life. If you do that, you're done. You need to make your, in my opinion, you need to make whatever your whatever your goal is, your passion, whatever that is, you make that your number one, your god, whatever it is, but don't ever put us as number one. I think that's where a lot of men really mess up. I was saying before, but then I think the conversation went, a lot of times we men tend to put us on a pedestal. That's a very bad idea. Like the guys that call women queens and all these, silly things like that. Don't ever put us on a pedestal. We're not anything to be worshipped. We are to follow you,
So that
not to
so
be
that
ahead of.
means so that means that at the end of this is that there's nothing to figure out about women at all. So we should even just stop discussing you guys all the, all together.
Or just keep it as entertainment. I mean, my thing is, you're talking about a year to just focus. What do you think she's doing in that year? You know, and shout outs to old man. She's riding that thing while you're just sitting there waiting. I
Yeah,
heard
that's what.
somebody say it
Ooh,
best.
that
Say that
that is
again.
that is fine though. The way women crave attention, the way women crave attention. Just telling you, if I would like to ask ladies' opinion, if men in the aggregate did that, just withheld all the free attention, and the only guys out there were the diehard gynocrat simps, and everybody else was like, "I'm not having it." Would women's behavior change, in your opinion?
If can you repeat what you just said? 'Cause it kind of was a couple. I heard a couple different things in there.
Okay, so my thing was raising your standards is just not dealing with women that don't have wifely qualities. So
Okay.
basically, and this is in the aggregate, right? So in the aggregate, that you're just like, I'm not messing with that. No, thank you. So basically, men are just saying no constantly. No free
Yeah.
attention. None of this friend zone garbage. You know, the only guys out there are the hardcore
Well,
simps.
I would say this unfortunate thing about that. That's not what's happening. That may
No,
be
no,
what you're
I
doing.
understand. I understand. That's a hypothetical, is what I'm saying.
Square niggas don't know.
Yeah, so let me just go on there. So the problem is the technology that we have now, we think we've had it for a while. It's very new. And so what's happening is, although you may believe that, you have literally 1,000 other men that don't think that. You have a
Boom.
thousand other men that are giving these women constant attention.
Yes, I
My
admit
own
that.
father. I mean, back in the day, if you really want to go back in history, it was a good thing for a man to take on a single mother, and we're still dealing with the ramifications of that. It would take all the men all together to to make a decision that you're going to raise your standards, but that's not what's going to happen. Unfortunately, there are so many men out there that allow us women to be how we are, and we're left unchecked. And this is what you're seeing now.
Miss
But one
Red,
of
can
the
you
thing
hit? Can you?
is that they want the high value men, and the high value men are developing standards. Those who did not have them before, and I think women are starting to come to grips that the high value men that they want, the men that's got the money and the access, not the athletes that and the entertainers, but businessmen. Those men have standards, and they're speaking their standards. And now the culture of men is saying, no more single mom. We don't want
I
no
think
baby mamas. If you got a kid, bye bye.
I think
And I
these
think,
conversations like this are great because honestly, to explain to you how a woman's minds work, we don't understand these things. In a woman's mind, in men's mind, you guys understand there's a big difference between having sex with a woman and actually making a woman your wife. You guys
Right.
understand that clearly, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Women have, I promise you, women have no concept of that whatsoever.
Say
In
Boom.
a
that again.
woman's mind, we think whether if a man has sex with us, marry us, we think, I'm saying we, but you understand what I'm saying. They all think it's the same thing. And so when you have sex with a woman, in her mind, she really believes it's the same as you want to be your wife. It's sad. And especially if you impregnate a woman, they listen, they do it on purpose. There's none of this, I missed a pill, I didn't know. None of that is done on purpose, because in a woman's mind, if you impregnate her, that's higher in her mind than if you were to marry her. It's strange to you guys, but that's a woman's mind. So when you
Well, I
guys give
mean,
these women sex, like the baby mamas, all these women, all you're doing is telling them that you're fine how you are, you're okay. I don't think that's ever going to change. I think you were kind of doomed here. But
Well,
women don't see it another way.
well,
well,
well.
no,
That
yeah,
goes
that's
to
why
opposite. That
a
goes
lot
to
of
the
big
opposite.
women don't care that they're big because they can get
They don't.
sex.
That's
They
what
don't
I'm
because
getting at.
they can get sex.
Can I say
That's all they need.
one more thing? I don't want to overtalk, but can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, and I'm telling you, and I'm not an ugly woman. I'll put it like that. Okay. But when you have an obese woman, unattractive, that woman gets hit on constantly. Her DMs are full because she's low fruit.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
When I was out,
absolutely.
I've been married for 14 years now. So don't get me wrong. But in my entire life, and I'm not unattractive, I've been approached by a man maybe 5 times because I didn't look like low hanging fruit. And so that's the issue. We're in a microwave society.
Hmm.
Everybody wants things easy. That big, fat, nasty woman with a bunch of kids, she's easy. She doesn't understand that, though.
That
We're
that
doomed.
that
Can I
that
Oh
say?
yeah, that's true.
that hits on what I was going to say. You know, big girls are doing the things that they're doing now is because they have the validation. They have the validation from men in the DMs and stuff. That's why they feel so confident doing what they're doing now. That's the only reason they feel confident
That's
doing what they're
that's why
doing now.
that's why
And
Lizzo is taking shits and
and women like her. And then watch this. Women now, especially with social media, you can say they're in a sense, they're kind of like in a dopamine overdose. The woman hit on it just here. From the moment they wake up, they have constant DMs in their face. So for us to just try to do something to make it seem like they're going to change their behavior is just insane. They treat us like utilities. Okay,
So,
I'm
ma'am,
not getting with this man. I'll go to the next one. They have, I
ma'am,
mean, it's
ma'am, to be honest, are you in here trying to just to get male attention based on the female nature?
she's
No,
telling the truth.
no, sir. Can I? Okay, no. I know it's funny to you guys. For me, it's not. I'm here because I have 2 sons. Like I said, I've been married. I'm a Black woman. I legitimately care about the Black community. And unfortunately, voices like mine, and no offense to you, sir, I get laughed at, I get joked out because when a woman like me speaks the truth
Mhm.
about what a woman's nature and role is, I
Uh-huh.
get laughed at and joked at. But I
Okay.
still speak my truth regardless because I actually care.
Okay.
Hey, let me make a point here, man. I've been trying to say something for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
It's a difference also. Let me clarify, because it's a difference between a whore and a prostitute. A whore gives away sex for free. A prostitute, of course, they sell their body. And that's when I was making my comment earlier about women engaging in sexual activities for money. That was the point that I was trying to make. Now, as far as a woman being a whore, I don't see that no different than a young guy being horny and wanting to screw everything that he wants to see, everything that he sees. Of course, when young girls are young, they fantasize about sleeping with guys. Now, if they act on it, that's something different. But, again, I just wanted to, clear that up because I did throw that out there and I wanted to be clear about what I was saying, whores versus prostitutes, because I never heard of a situation where a prostitute said, no, I'm going to sleep with you for free, keep your money. And the same thing with the strippers in the strip club. You better not try to take your money back from any of them chicks after you throw that money up on that stage.
So, ma'am, should we be looking for a woman like you then who cares and speaks honestly?
Well, I say this all the time. I'm no different than any other woman. What I would say that you should do is I believe that men should just step into your role. And I would say like the biggest thing that I see with men and what you all do that's a big mistake. I notice that men sometimes you guys go back and forth with women and you guys get entangled up in our emotions. And
Pardon the pun.
I sorry.
Pardon the pun. Continue.
Oh, I didn't hear. I think that's a very bad mistake. Sometimes okay, like you have your woman, you tell her, you make a decision for your house, this is what you're going to do. It's it and that's that. Woman, we're going to complain, we're going to nag, we're going to fuss. And you guys go into this back and forth thing with us, arguing back and forth. And I know it feels like the right thing to do with us. Absolutely not. You let your yes be yes and your no be no. You put your foot down, you mean what you say, you say what you mean, it's it and that's that. And the woman's going to test you at first and try to see if she can make you bow and bend, and she's going to do these things. You need to stay strong. Do not get into an emotional entanglement back and forth drama with a woman. That's it. Let your whatever you say, let that word be gospel.
Well, man, but here's the thing though. Should we be pedestalizing a woman like you who's telling us the truth?
No.
No.
I'm telling
What
you.
the hell is he
No.
talking about? She just said don't pedestalize
See,
a woman.
Somebody said it best. A woman should be third in your priorities. At
Absolutely.
So
best.
we shouldn't appreciate you at all coming on the show and speaking the truth.
I mean, if you want to appreciate, great. Go ahead. Why not? But
So super
I'm not
chat.
saying yes or no. I mean, go ahead and appreciate. Anytime you get any knowledge, you should appreciate it, right?
Right.
Absolutely.